When I first started at East Surrey College, I had never been in a studio before or recorded vocals. I hadn't even heard of Logic before starting in 2021. I have had a few singing lessons before and I have an understanding of some basic singing techniques and warm-ups. I had also performed outside of college, but only a few times, and I wasn't confident with my stage presence like I am now. Singing techniques and warm-ups I have learned over the past 2 years have become part of my everyday life and routine, and especially when performing. I have also grown in confidence enough to be able to work in the studio independently and also feel I have enough knowledge to be able to solve minor technical issues that I may face. After the first year, my dad bought me a MacBook. This really helped me to get to know Logic more too. I am now confident enough to mix and master my own songs to a basic skill. I would say that I maybe could have stepped away from jazz even more so than I have over the period of the course. However, I have a born passion and love for jazz, and although I have enjoyed experimenting with different styles and tempos, jazz will always have my heart. Starting the course, I always wanted to be an artist. However, I never really had the belief in myself. As time has gone on, my confidence and belief in myself has grown massively, and I now want to be a songwriter/singer. I have grown a massive passion for songwriting over the past year, and I can't wait to pursue this at university, where I will be studying songwriting and vocals. During the first year FMP, I really felt I discovered a different side of myself. I pushed myself to limits I thought I wouldn't reach, and I achieved a merit which I was really proud of. When writing an Amy Winehouse-inspired song, Sweet Memory, I wrote lyrics that came from my heart, obviously about an ex-boyfriend. After all, it wouldn't be an Amy-inspired song if it wasn't about a bad ex or alcohol and drug abuse. But I also tried to create lyrics that teenage girls my age will relate to. Performing my own songs and covers of my choice that I felt comfortable with also helped with the growth of my confidence on stage and my stage presence. This was also when I started meeting and working with other musicians and students in college, but also outside of college. The skills, techniques and confidence I was learning in college was giving me the confidence to go out and start performing at small local pubs. Before I knew it, I was doing 1 gig a week and earning money from this too. There were many things I struggled with from last year, Logic Pro being my biggest and scariest fear of them all. I was dreading even beginning to learn how to use Logic, as it just looked so intimidating and complicated. It took me some time before we became friends, but after getting my MacBook and taking an hour a day from my time at home to sit down and compromise with it, I started to understand it more. Another thing I will be ensuring that I am for this year's FMP photo shoot is prepared. Last year I did my makeup in the classroom and had an eyelash falling down my face during the photo shoot. It was not a look. One thing I think has been a great touch to the FMP this year is the project timetable. I don't recall doing this last year, and I feel that by splitting my time up it allows me to reach deadlines in time without rush or fear. I would like to think that every skill I had when I arrived on the first day, every skill I've learned over the past 2 years and every technique I've used from the beginning have been massively improved over the duration of the course. I definitely know that there's been a crazy improvement in my voice, but by just listening to the first year FMP demo to this year's FMP demo. However, something I will be asking Natalie to help me master this year is achieving riffs when singing. Another skill I will be improving and learning is the skill to sing and perform with a band and live instruments, learning to communicate with other musicians on stage to get the correct timing right and work together for the music to work. I have booked plenty of studio time in order for me to create my FMP. I have tried to book for at least 2 hours a day on the days that I'm in college, so this is 6 hours a week studio. This should be plenty of time for me to complete the work I want to within the 9-week timeline. For the war project, I wrote a song on the perspective of an evacuee war child, my nan. I interviewed her for about half an hour, asking all the questions I needed for the context to write an emotional, heartfelt song that people would listen to and that my nan would love. I recorded and produced this track in Logic and trimmed, chopped, mixed and mastered everything in it. I really threw myself into the deep end with this project, as I created the backing track myself too, using loops and software instruments on Logic. This was the first time I had done this, so there were many things for me to reflect back on, but I
that baby say, all the children stand away.
One thing I felt that could have gone better during the production of the war project was my time management. If I had given myself deadlines for things to have been completed and kept organised within the project, I would have had more time to complete my work to an even better standard. By being organised with my work and keeping track of the time management, I would have also had more time to evaluate my project and track before releasing it to the public, as I wasn't keen on certain things within the track, but it was too late to change anything at this point, and I'd already posted the track onto SoundCloud and WordPress. I also didn't get the time to edit and upload the visuals of my Nan's interview. I had the audio recording on Logic, which I analysed, however there was a visual to go with the audio too. After college, I plan on continuing my studies at BIM University in London, where I plan on studying songwriting and vocals. I have decided to study at London and live at home and commute to uni 3 times a week. I have decided on doing this as I'm going to be close to my support at home and also feel I have more chance of finishing the course with the help and support of my friends and family. I would also like to expand on the area where I am gigging. This year I would like to perform at more small local festivals and get more experience with the pub gigs too. They're fun, exciting and a great experience for me to practice with different crowds, stage presence and confidence too. It is also a great place for me to experiment with some of my original songs to see how the audience react with them. The aim of my FMP this year is to create an EP consisting of 3 original songs and 3 covers. This is something I would like to use to market myself with and for them small festivals and pub gigs over the summer. I plan on creating a visual for myself and having photo shoots to create this. I will be choosing a photo from the photo shoot that will be my EP cover. Once the EP is completed and everything has come together with the production of my visuals and EP cover, I will be putting on my own show for friends and family to come and see my EP. I will set the room up in a jazzy and intimate way, and the stage will be a catwalk layout. There will be tables and chairs and the mood will be set. Finally, I will be performing live with the band to an original song of mine. This will be new, exciting and also teach me many new skills of working and communicating with other musicians on stage.
He gets me off my knees, feeling his company. Oh, what does he do to me? Dancing with both their feet. I see it off my face, feeling a big disgrace. What happened to this face? Yeah, I cannot deal with this. Go ahead, light your split. Sitting here in your bliss, all that you've done to this. Little black sweet, my heart, you're tearing it from the start. How can I ride this part? Said he's my country boy, does that make...
For my secondary research, I'm going to be exploring the different techniques for lyric writing and also song structure too. How every genre structures a song differently. I will also be comparing how other artists I like structure a song and write lyrics compared to how I do it. I will also be exploring the vocal techniques, skills and warm-ups to create emotion in my vocal. I will be exploring and researching into the authors of the websites, articles and books I have used for my research to ensure that the sources are credible. For my primary research, I am going to be reflecting back on old videos of me performing live in and outside of college. This will allow me to reflect back on any mistakes I made and evaluate what I can do differently to improve my live performance, stage presence and vocal. I will also be reflecting back to my focus groups for critical feedback, advice and opinions on my project throughout. I also plan on working in a music venue where I'm surrounded by musicians, music and all things great. I am currently at Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club, where I am meeting so many new musicians and talking to so many bands. It's a great environment to be around. I was lucky to meet the whole Motown family and see them perform on stage. I observed their stage presence, their chat and their confidence. A practical problem I may face during the production of my EP could be having technical problems with Logic Pro when recording my tracks for the EP. This would be a problem that I would ask Mark for help with. Another practical problem I may have would be having sound check problems when setting up for the show. This would be a problem that I would ask Steve for help with. I may also have problems with getting the correct lighting for my photo shoot, which is a problem that I would ask Nick for help with. I then may suffer with some theoretical problems, one of which being suffering with writer's block when writing lyrics for my new song. This would be a problem that I would ask Natalie for help with. I may also struggle to reach a note or key when performing a vocal, which again I would also ask Natalie for help. Pre-production will be doing research in many different topics such as songwriting, song structure, photo shoot tips, marketing tips and release tips. Also many other topics to ensure the release of my EP and production of the FMP runs smoothly and I am happy with the outcome. The production stage is the part where the project starts coming together and all the little things start becoming big things. I will spend a big bunch of this time in the studio doing practical work for the EP. This is a process in which all my research and observation turns into experimentation and I put everything I have learned from my research into action. The post-production stage is where the rehearsal is vital and I will be rehearsing in the studio and preparing for my show. I will be reflecting back on any feedback given to me from previous performances and taking on board any advice and tips for the show ahead. The practical skills that I have learned over the period of the course are setting up the studio and recording myself through Logic Pro, performing live to an audience and in rehearsal, singing techniques and warm-up. The practical skills that I will be working on are working with other musicians such as James from the other course to complete the duet for my EP. Lyric writing and working across different styles. I have done a research post in order to improve my knowledge on this and also gain knowledge on lyric writing for different genres. I've also done research and improved my stage presence and talking with an audience when performing too. During the evaluation and reflection part of the project, I will be reflecting back to my focus groups for critical feedback to ensure the improvement of my performance. Completing often and frequent skills audits to evaluate my improvement over the period of the project. I will also be writing action plans to keep my work within the correct timelines and also keep myself reminded and up to date with work. I will also be acting on feedback to ensure the improvement of my work. Finally, for the presentation of my FMP, I will be creating an EP consisting of 3 original tracks and 3 covers. The covers are going to be Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, Lose Control by Teddy Swims and I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan. I will call the EP All or Nothing. I have also documented in sets of weeks 1 to 9, the process of the project and I will be releasing the EP onto social media platforms.